I want to do it. I'm going to record
Okay.
and let me share my screen. Okay.
By the way, I had
Is
my
that
son
okay?
check my computer. The camera is dead, so I ordered an external one to attach to it.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that it wasn't like, I'm sorry that your camera's dead, but I'm glad it wasn't something that we could fix and we just couldn't figure out. You
Right.
know
That's what I said to my son when he looked like at me like I was an idiot.
what I mean? Well, so in um Command, there's a lot of reporting. I'm currently using this to kind of track my scholarship students. I have everybody in my pipeline here. And so using like for the reports section, there's a lot of different things that you can track within. And you can track your own production. You can do your business reports, like your database, your goals. I like the communication reports. This one's really fun for me. And there's just a couple others, like if you have a team, technically, I guess I have a team account, but I don't use it like that. One of the big ways that you can like support your tracking is by setting business goals in Command. So I start in reports. I'll start all the way over here. So this is the report applet, and I'm going to come over here to, let me see if I can make this bigger. Business reports. And then I'm going to set my goals. And I actually need to do this for myself, so we're going to set those there. Um, so I need to set my goals for a lot of this to kind of apply, so I can see the true breakdown of what I'm doing. So right here, you can just say, set your goals. I'm gonna get started. It says, what's my annual profit goal? I don't know. Mm, hold on. I actually do have a number. I just need to do my math. Um, hold on. Okay, so like me, now this is a really small number, but you can do. Oh, I gotta do at least 10,000? Okay, I'm gonna say 10. We'll say 100,000, right? I want to make $100,000 in real estate. There's a waiting room. I remember to check all these things. Okay, and I'll move the chat too. Um, so again, the reports, I'm coming in and I'm setting my annual profit goals. So I'm just gonna say I'm gonna make $100,000. I'm gonna say my expenses are, I don't know, 9,000. I'm making up a bunch of numbers, guys, and I'm just gonna say 9,000 for cost of sales. Um, Listings, I want to be about 50-50 with listings and buyers. And I'm just going to say the average commission per unit. Let's see. Uh, We're going to say 1,250. And I'm just kind of picking these numbers at random, not necessarily at random. I'm doing like the average sales price for the Charleston Tri-County area is about 450,000. And I'm doing like a 2.5% commission rate on that. So we're just gonna kind of those are the numbers that I'm looking at here. Um, and again, I'm just making examples, obviously do your expenses and cost of sale, take a look at your numbers. I'm doing taxes. So take a look at all those numbers from last year, and kind of apply them here. And I'm just going to calculate. I'm just going to use these average conversions here that are given to me because I think those are good numbers. And I'm going to hit continue. If you know your conversions, like from lead to contact to appointment, you can add those specifically in. If you don't know those, then we can just leave them with the default setting. And then we're going to set our goals and kind of see how we're going from here. So now you can see kind of my tracking. Now, granted, I am using this for case score. So my tracking looks a little different. But I have set 24 appointments. I've kept 29% of those appointments. So there's a couple that we've missed here and there. And then agreements for me are people getting through or starting the real estate school. So you can kind of see my conversions here, which is pretty cool. And I can break it down by month. Oh man, it's like a good number of appointments that I think I was probably backtracking, but I can see kind of overall for this year. And right now I can kind of see my generic conversions. I know this will kind of change and adjust as I go through this, but it looks like I'm kind of on track, which is pretty cool, guys. I don't know. That's pretty awesome. Um, so this is just kind of how you can use this reporting. Now, where do these numbers pull from? Where do these appointments set, appointment kept, agreements come from? So this is all coming from the opportunity section. Okay, so if I go into, I'm gonna just go into my appointments. Scheduling for me, like I've got people who need to schedule their appointment. So I'm going to Serene's little opportunity. Okay, I created her opportunity in December, and let me just kind of look at Serene's information. Serene or so. So it looks like she's scheduled. If now I got to go back to my email for some of this, but I can see that on January 5th, so I'm gonna say she scheduled an appointment on January 5th. I gotta zoom this up a little bit so I can see with my screen. So January 5th, she scheduled the appointment. The appointment date was for January 8th. And I can see the screen. It looks like she canceled her appointment. So there's no way that I can really kind of update here, but I'm not going to put that my agreement was one with Serene. And I'm actually probably going to move her to missed appointment in my pipeline and how I'm tracking my pipeline status. So I've kind of adjusted my appointments to have my own like list, if you will. If I go into active, I've got like my 60-hour and my 30-hour group. So this is how I can add in those numbers and kind of say, all right, who has won the agreement, who hasn't. So I'm going to go to someone who, let me see, Sandra Harris. She kept her appointment. See if I can find her in here. Sandra Harris. Okay, so if I look up, now this is where I got to do a little bit better at this. So I'm trying to keep my emails clean so I can see, all right, she scheduled her appointment on February 9th for, what was yesterday? February 16th. And we won the agreement. She held her appointment and she is scheduled to get enrolled on Wednesday. So I held my appointment and we're going to officially, I'm going to say win my agreement when she gets enrolled. So for me, like your appointment day and your agreement one date might be the same day. So these are kind of the dates that this is pulling from. And so if I go back into my reports, my business reports, go into my goals, this number might have adjusted a little bit and I just can't see it too well. And it might take an hour or so for that to adjust because you might make a couple adjustments in a little bit of time. So that you can kind of see here, this is kind of how that tracks. You got to put in those agreements. You got to put in like those under contract dates. But as long as you add the dates to the opportunity in your specific checklist, then you're good to go. Does that make sense? I'm trying to see. If you guys have any questions, feel free to come off mute. It's just the three of us. Um, cool. So that's one way that I can track my GCI goals. If you're really focused on those GCI, so that's like one goal for me that I'm trying to track to see my conversions of, how many leads do I get versus how many people get enrolled in my scholarship. So for you guys, it'd probably be, how many leads do you get versus how many appointments, how many people go sign an agreement, and then how many people close and go under contract. Yeah. So I think that this is just like fun reporting. I've been kind of tracking this manually, so I'm really excited to use Command this year to kind of see how this rolls in real time. Another thing that I like to track, and I'm really honing in on this, is like my lead sources. I have a couple different lead sources, but it's really easy for me to see my snapshot and reports. Again, I'm going to come over here to business reports. I think that's probably the best report tool you can use. And then I'm going to go to database overview. This is going to show me just kind of overall where my leads are coming So I can see here on my little legend, like this year alone, 2026, I've got 38% of my leads are coming from agent referrals. I got about 23% coming from Indeeds. Um, there's a K-score there's a submission form online that people can fill out. So I got about 16% coming from those. I've added in a couple, like 3% Ronnie, 5% Ryan Wilkerson. I've got other K-store students referring into the program, non-KW Charleston agents or non-KW agents referring in. So this is a cool little snapshot of where my people are coming from. And I am working on tightening like where Ronnie is a KW agent referral, kind of merging those two.
Can you tell me
But
how
also,
you got there? Holly, you went to reports, business reports, and what was the third?
yeah, you're good. Reports, business reports, and database overview.
Got it.
And you can look at sources from last year, this year. I'm going to look at this month. Or I can even get so far as to like this week, yesterday, today, kind of see exactly where those leads came from. Teacher, so I'm gonna have to go in and manually. I do have to like working with VA, so I do kind of have to like go in and adjust some things. But this is really cool how I can just see like a cool, cute little snapshot of how much percent of my leads are going somewhere. Now, how this might apply to you guys, if you start doing like ads or you're doing marketing, if you're using any sort of kind of like automated lead system where it's tagging, or if you're inputting them manually, say like you're running Facebook ads, you do open houses, and you do like, personal referrals, right? Those are like your three main pillars. If you're spending a ton of money on Facebook ads, but only like 3% of your lead source is coming from the Facebook ad, and you got 40% coming from open houses, I would maybe kind of take a look at that, Facebook ad. Maybe you need to change the ad, maybe try a month of changing the ad and what it says. If that increases your leads from it, cool. It was just a marketing, like I didn't catch the retention. If after like adjustments of the verbiage or the pictures or the graphics, you're still not seeing that lead source increase, then I would maybe change it. And because then you can put money somewhere else to where you might get a higher lead source. Um, so this is where you can really just kind of hone in on like where you're spending money. Is it working for you? Do you need to adjust your so this is again, I love this little snapshot. I think it's just the cutest thing. I love the colors. I've got for me in my database, this is also going to track my health score. Now, granted, I'm not using this on an active level for like my like business. Like right now, having phone numbers and emails is 100% going to be what I want to communicate with my students for their scholarship. Let me see if I can pull up another. Let's see if I can get a new window. Can you guys see the new screen I'm sharing? Oh no, wait, hold on. I'll reshare it just. Come on. I might not be able to get into it. Might not be able to show you. I was trying to get into Vince's account where I've added in like home anniversaries and birthdays and stuff. But for me, I know that my 1% that doesn't have a phone number is my test account that I made for myself. Um, but I have 100% of my contacts with emails, which is what I want. And so if you're looking to farm a neighborhood, you definitely want to have some addresses associated with the contact. When it talks about neighborhoods, this can be like if you're adding someone to the um like monthly neighborhood nurture. If you have an address for them, like I'll go ahead and put in my address here in my about. So I'm gonna say
It should auto-populate that neighborhood.
it should auto-populate that neighborhood. The only time it won't auto-populate that neighborhood is if there is not a next door community associated with that neighborhood. So like for me, mine has a little next, so it's powered by the next door app. so that from the website you can get additional resources as far as like what the locals are saying about it, kind of in this little snapshot on your website. Um, if they do not have a neighborhood, that means there's just not a next door app for it. Um, but you can add other neighborhoods as well, by finding it on a map or like searching address. So if I go t, like there's the one that I currently live in. So here's also, oh, there's a community over here that I might like, and here's a little community over here that I might like. So you can add in a couple different neighborhoods, um, based on what they're looking for. Like I am renting, right? So I don't know if I want too many market stats coming out about my neighborhood because I don't think I want it. So I can get rid of my neighborhood and just add the neighborhoods that I'm interested in. So like, let me get rid of all these guys. Like, y'all, I am super interested in Shadow Moss. Shadow Moss. All right, we might have to find it on a little map. So let's go to a little. Here it is, Shadow Moss. Maybe I just didn't spell it right. But my husband is really interested in West, so I can come up here. I know we're on like two totally different spectrums of the world. Uh, Old Charlie Road. I'm really good with a map. So yeah, he likes this one right here, the Woodlands, specifically. So if you don't know the name of the neighborhood, you might want to also check in here to make sure. I also really like Hume Terrain. I think it's super cute. So now I have like I don't want to get market stats on a neighborhood that I'm renting from, but I would love to get market stats from neighborhoods that I'm interested in buying. Um, and so that is going to adjust. Now that I've added those neighborhoods, I go into my reports, I go into my business reports, I go into my database overview. Now it might not be immediate, but maybe tomorrow or later tonight, I'm going to see that I have like 1% has a neighborhood in this space. And then home anniversaries, that will just be it'll be for past clients. You can put it in the contact card under the About Me section. I hit edit. I go into About. There is where I can input birthdays and home anniversaries. And if you're looking to increase your birthdays, listen, the best thing to do, search their Facebook. You can put it on Facebook all the time. It doesn't put the year. You don't have to have the year here. You just need to know that it's somebody's birthday. Hold on. I think I got my code. Let's see if I can get in. No. Oh no. All right. Apparently I can't get in the account. It's fine. Probably just need to like clear my cookies or something. That's okay. So I'm gonna work with this. Are any questions like so far on like, do you guys have any questions about like the reporting and tracking?
No, I just wanted to get a general overview.
Yeah,
I'm sure as I start using various things, I'll have a lot more questions.
yeah. The other, yeah, because the more you like, and again, that's where I kind of started looking and seeing like, okay, like I really need to start like going through my opportunities, making sure I input that information into each card, so that I can really track my conversions for this. I also still track it on a spreadsheet separately just to for my personal well-being. But because that's just what I've been doing for the last 3 years, but I'd love for it to become automated and something that I don't really have to think about besides adding in a couple dates. So I'm working on building a bit of doing that. So right now, this month has been like, oh, all right, go through my little process, and then make sure that I'm like adding in the information that I need.
And we can see all this in our app as well, our phone app.
I believe so. That's a really good question. I haven't actually logged in with this account. Um, see what my logins are. Let's see. I love these verifications, guys. No. Hmm. I don't know. I'm getting an error, but it might be because I have too many accounts.
Yeah.
Might need to clear my phone cookies. I think I just need to clear my phone cookies. But yeah, you should be able to see like a good bit in the app. Let me just do. Let's see. Opportunities. I know you can go in and change like the dates, like in the like opportunity. If I needed to come in and add these dates to someone, I can go in and adjust the dates from the app. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to see. I don't know if I'm gonna actually be able to see all the reporting.
Okay.
I can go in and see my opportunities. I don't know about how much reporting I'm going to be able to see as far as like the exact like database health score and things like just off of a quick answers.kw.com search of what I can see in the app. I don't know if I don't think I can see that extensively um in the app. But again, if I can figure out this login information, I'll give you a more clear answer. Um, The other, like the associate report here, this is going to show you like your multi-year trends for GCI contracts written and things like that. I don't have anything, so it's going to say none. It may take a hot minute for these transactions list to close or to show. It might take a little bit for it to load through. But if I like, I don't know if I can see like my profit share. Yeah, because I'm gonna a different account. I'm not in my like my true KW account. Um, but this would be where you can see like your monthly production summary, your listing, post transaction, income summary, and sales details. So you can take a good look at some of like your I like the multi-year trends because it shows you like over how many years like you've been with KW. Like what did your first year look like for GCI? What did your second year look like? And you can kind of see those trends like, oh, March is always a really good month for me. Or ooh, like, I don't know, May is seems to be a tight month. Maybe I can change some of my marketing or focus my lead generation strategies around that time or like 3 months before that so that I can actually have a good so you really kind of see your specific trends and how your kind of production is changing with the market.
I have a question, Holly, when it comes to teams. So currently with our team, all the units are recorded under Ronnie.
Yeah.
And when I go into the team group and performance detail, because I do that with the commissions as well, right? Like I'm going to put the one under
Yeah.
Ronnie. How do you differentiate the agent on that?
It's actually all the way back in opportunities. When you're working on the commission request, there's a section where you split it and it's like one unit goes to Ronnie and then like, but you change the commission, right? If you instead changed it to like say it's I don't know the team splits, right? Say it's 60 to Ronnie and 40 to the agent. And I'm just making that number up because I don't know your numbers. You could change Ronnie's unit to be zero point 0.6 and then change the other's agent's unit to be point. That way it still equals one full unit, but then you're able to differentiate kind of like the split and who is on the transaction.
Okay. So so what is going to be the split, right? It's her team, regardless. So whoever, whatever the production is. So if it is, sometimes we do have collaborators. Let's say we might have an agent collaborate with another agent on our team and pay them out a certain percentage. How would you know if I'm recording that unit one under Ronnie, zero to Allison, and zero to Jessica, let's say, but it might be Allison's listing? Like, is there a way
And
for
I would,
me,
um, again, I would like,
should I record that
I would,
unit under that lead agent instead?
yeah, that's how I would do it. Personally, like I would put the lead agent as either the full unit or again break up the units. Like if it's
Okay.
like Allison's listing, she would get like the majority of the percentage or just put the full unit under her. Let me see if I can do,
Because that's something when I pull in the team group and performance detail, it's not going to be accurate based on what the information I'm entering, I guess. So,
yeah, I'm trying to see if I find a good, if I find a good answers article, because again, I don't get to really see the team side as much because I don't have a team account. Um, let me just, because you're looking under the business reports, right? Or the team and group
the team
performance
and group
details.
performance detail. Like as of right now, Jessica's not even listed on there and she should be, but
Yeah. Mhm. Um, yeah, we have to take a look at that. And I would also probably ask Tiffany on it too, because I think where it's pulling from the opportunities, but because like the one unit is going under Ronnie, it's all just showing under me, even though they're collaborators, because it's showing that only Ronnie got the credit per se for that training.
okay. Okay, I'll update that moving forward.
Yeah.
I
So I
think
would
that's where it's
split it,
pulling from
whatever
too.
yeah, so whatever the split is, like Ronnie gets X% and so gets whatever percent, like I would kind of adjust the unit to match the percentage.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
see if that kind of adjusts it. And then like I would say give it like a month or two, and then we can have a chat if you want to like deep dive into it and see how that changed everything.
Okay, sounds good.
So yeah. I might have to come visit you up in Key and see how it looks for realsies. Um, awesome. All right, so that's team reports. You got your associate reports. I like again, I really like the communication reports. This one's like my cup of tea. I've been doing a lot of texting with Twilio through this platform, so I could reach out to agent or the scholarship students a little easier. Uh, and people are texting more. It just is what it is. So if I go to my text and call reports, I can see, oops, I'm getting close to using up all my text messages, but I can see like I've sent 208 text messages. I used about 600 credits. Now I might need to go adjust how many credits I buy a month, right? I've gotten messages received, but I don't see any messages that are like expire. Like I don't see any. I've reached like it's telling me a little bit about my credit limit, but I'm not seeing any messages that are bounced. Everything seems to be going through, which is really great. So this is helping me track my metrics of how many text messages are being received, and being sent out, which is awesome. And then I love the email one. Y'all know I love smart plans. So I can come in here and now, granted, this is for February. Let's see if I go to January. Might have a couple more clicks. There was only 1% that was undelivered. And I can go in here and view. All right, here is the person, and I can use this email. I can search their contact information and kind of see what's wrong. Maybe I typed it in wrong. Maybe they input it wrong. Maybe their inbox is full, but I can see there's at least one undelivered person. And so that would make sense that 99.7 have been delivered. So I can see all the ones that have been delivered. You can see I've got a 63% open rate. That makes me happy. 15% click. A good bit of reply, but I have 0 unsubscribed, and that makes me extra special happy. If you do have people unsubscribing to your emails, this is where you can kind of track and see, maybe remove, depending on, if they're unsubscribing from like the options that they get when they unsubscribe, they can choose to opt out of a specific campaign. So, or a smart plan. So like if I have a monthly smart plan for a class, they can unsubscribe just to that smart plan. And then if I run it again next month, they'll still get it. The other option for unsubscribe is unsubscribing from all KW email communications. And that is when, for me personally, if they don't want my emails, I just archive the contact, because that, for me personally, again, this is not, our businesses are running a little different. We're operating on different spectrums. But for me, if you're not gonna like reach out to me with emails, then I don't know. You're not gonna do good in my program probably. I still call, I still text, like I still do all of those things, but a good bit of communication is via email, especially I'm sure you guys have noticed like with your lender partners, your vendors, like all the people like I'm sure there's a lot of email communication in real estate. So for me, when I get someone who's unsubscribing to everything, then I personally archive them, because they likely haven't gone through the process. I'll look and see if they've gone through the process. But generally, if I get someone unsubscribing, they've dropped out of the real estate school or they haven't communicated entirely. So that's how I run my model. Check out your models. I would maybe add a tag unsubscribe, just to be TCPA compliant if they have unsubscribed from stuff. Add a tag that says unsubscribe, maybe remove them from any mailing list and just have them on a call text schedule. But this is where I really go in and check, and see, just making sure that my students are getting my emails, everyone's clicking appropriately, and making sure that no one's unsubscribing from stuff. So that's how I track that. And I can go back and forth by month and month. So I go back in December. This is when I really started the program in this platform. I think this was probably the same person. Nope, a totally different one. Didn't get my email. But this is really cool to see, especially if you're running a lot of smart plans or a lot of campaigns. It's really awesome to like track the delivery engagement. So you can see like what email campaigns are working. If you see like my clicked ones, you can kind of see the exact emails that are coming out that are being clicked, which is really nice too. But I mean, having this information allows you to be more purposeful, especially for me, especially in the communication sector. If there's like a new email campaign that I'm running and I just started it and I see that my open rate hasn't really changed since I ran it, maybe it's marketing, maybe it's verbiage, maybe it's like the eye attention, maybe it's going to spam. If you see that your open rate or your open rate has like just dropped off the face of the earth, just be aware that it could be possible that you've gone to spam. And a lot of that has to do with your unsubscribe rate. If you have a high unsubscribe rate, the more likely your emails are going to start going to spam. The best way to fix that is to see who is opening your emails, and target them a little bit more, and then start making personal contacts to those. You're essentially having to turn an email from like a cold email to like a warm email to a hot email where they can receive your campaigns again. So do like individual reach outs. I'll say like, hey, I just sent you an email. Can you check? I sent you an email to enter our raffle. I see that you haven't opened it. I just wanted to make sure you received it. Can you go through your emails and check? Oh, it's in the spam folder. Do you mind just like unmarking that as spam? Great. Now you can enter to win this competition or whatever you have going on, right? So that would kind of be the way. If you see your email open rate just drop off the face of the earth, I would look at your unsubscribe rate over the last couple months and see if that has something to do with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's going to be a work to get from your email to be like cold to warm to hot again. But it'll be a lot easier to keep up with it once you start checking out this and tracking it. and keep it on path versus, it's going to be easier once you kind of get it back on path and then maintain it, if that makes sense. But now you know where to start if you feel like your emails aren't being opened up.
Cool.
Yeah. But
Thank you.
that's kind of the power of tracking and reporting. Like, let me see. Oh, I didn't know there was a roster here. This is cool. Community roster. Oh, that's awesome. Sorry, I'm learning stuff too. So you got commercial.
There's a
Let's update
lot of
this.
new things in the reporting applet.
Yeah. I gotta play around in this in like my real account so it'll actually work. But they do have like the leadership regional leadership. Oh, oh, it's because I'm not an agent. I'm not considered like any part of region, so it's fine. Um, but yeah, as tracking your goals, going through, updating your opportunities, going in and filling in those like date blanks. Like just because you drop them an appointment doesn't mean it's automatically tracking the appointment. You have to actually tell command what day the appointment was, what day you won the agreement, so that these reports are going to track for you in a bigger and better way. So that way you can really track your conversion rates and see where you need to hone in on in this goal section here. Let me see. And then there was this other one. Let me see. Opportunity report. This gives me a glance at like my volume and how long people are staying in each phase. For me, this isn't pertinent to me because I'm not tracking income or commission. I'm really just tracking like my leads to appointments and things like that. So this goal setting one is going to be more of my focus. That's got for you guys. I
Yeah.
think having this knowledge really helps just kind of propel you forward and see where you can work on and where you need to look. And just building that habit of getting in there and tracking it and adding in dates is going to be a big habit. All right, guys. Well, that's all I have. But if you guys
All
have any
right.
questions, I'll hang out.
I'm all
Yeah,
set.
all set. Thank you so much, Holly.
See you later. Have a good day.
All right.
Thank
Thanks, you
you.
too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.